sometimes when I share that I have ADHD with some people, people go, "What? You? But you're not really a hyper kind of person." And I say, "Well, the hyperactivity is all in my head." So that's how I like to explain what ADHD inattentive actually is. So 50% of those people with ADHD don't actually exhibit like hyperactivity, like outwardly, but we have a very, very busy mind. I've always known this about myself since I was very young. I used to always say, "Oh, my mind is like a whole other world," and it was the closest I could come to describing what it was like. I really did have this outer world in which I went about and lived life, as well as my inner world, very rich inner world. I had stories going on, I had songs going on, I had deep thoughts, I had questionings, I had ponderings, I had memories galore. I was constantly processing and reprocessing like things that had happened in my life, or why I was the way I was. Like I was always trying to understand just myself, because I found that there were like opposite characteristics as part of my personality, all like, and I didn't quite understand that about myself. I could be very traditional, but also very throw the rules out the window. I could be very calm and centered, but I did actually have a lot of hyperactivity. Actually, when I was young, it came out physically, particularly when I was a teenager. I was very, very creative and artistic and loved to like play against the rules of fashion. I loved doing that. Just wear something that was totally nothing anyone else would wear. But at the same time, I loved to be very methodical with like my work and how I carried out my homework every night, like after school. So yeah, I do like to say that the H is in my head. So how that can come across to people now that I'm in my 40s, though, it can come across as like I do actually feel easily overwhelmed. And people don't see that. People don't know that I'm overwhelmed. And I'm not about to go up to you and say, "Hi, I'm overwhelmed today." But how it can come across is in I will suddenly start to organize lots of things and make sure that everyone's really clear on what's happening, and I'm sending messages and I'm explaining things and I'm asking lots of questions. "Oh, so you're coming to visit me? When are you coming? Who's coming? And would you like this? And would you like that? And how about we do this on this day?" And it can come across as very controlling, I think. I've come to understand that it comes across as very controlling, whereas to me it's more like I'm heightened, I'm anxious, you're coming to visit me, I'm really excited, but I just need to know what's going to be happening because I need to calm my head. Unfortunately, that's gotten me into trouble in the past where it's been taken, yeah, completely the wrong way. So I've learned to just pull right back. Just pull right back. Just maybe not communicate. Maybe just let things be a little bit and just go with the flow. Maybe not try so hard. I can also be very excitable as well, like with people, because I get really happy to see someone. I'm like, "Oh my goodness, hi, it's been so long," and I'll like throw my arms around them. And but this can come across, at least here in our Western culture here in Australia, can come across as just too much, too much. So I've had to just sort of learn to just adapt to the culture that I live in, and just that's that part of that is just being Chilean too. Like it is a cultural thing. I went to Chile once and everyone was wanting to hug me and kiss me on the cheek, and I'm like, "I don't know you. Please don't touch me." Um, but no, it was wonderful. You get to know the people. They're so lovely and loving and warm-hearted, and it's just so beautiful being there. But back to living life here, I've had to learn to sort of just calm it down. So I'll be like, "Hey, how you going?" And I may or may not chat to you these days because I'm like just letting it be. But that again comes down to Me also coming into my ADHD inattentive self. Just sort of understanding that it's okay that I have a whole other world in my head and that I'm just sitting here. I'm with you, but I'm also like, there's so much going on in my head. And sometimes it's okay. It's okay for me to be inside my head. And I don't feel embarrassed or shame about that anymore. Like when I've lost someone's conversation and then I'm trying really hard to catch up in my head, like what did they say? Like it used to be so embarrassing, and so I would never say, oh sorry, I've lost you at, this is what I heard last, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about what you said, a few sentences ago, can you go from there again? Like I will outright say that now, because I know that that's what's going on in my head. People don't take offense. They're like, if anything, I find that when I say, hey, I think I'm still stuck on what you said, like, when you said this, and it's just really amazing, and I was like, sorry, still thinking about that, but like, what have you said since then? I think it comes across, I think people appreciate that you're actually really taking into account what they're saying, and you're really thinking about it, and you're going deep with it, and I think people enjoy that too. So, what I wanted to actually come on here and say is like, I guess to those with ADHD is like, just relax, just be you. There's no one else like you. You are just who you are, and what you bring to the world is just beyond amazing. We all bring something that is beyond amazing, and we might not even know what that is, right? We don't have to know. This is the thing, we don't have to know. I was telling my little brother the other day, just sharing with him how he has managed to uplift my spirit many times in his life, just sort of giving him that positive feedback, and I said to him, and you would be none the wiser how many times you've actually, just by being yourself, you've uplifted my spirit. And I got thinking and pondering about that, and I thought, that's actually every one of us. Every one of us is who we are, and we somehow just, we're here on this earth for a purpose, and we are uplifting others, we're inspiring others, we're bringing joy to others without even realizing that we're doing it. To those not with ADHD, but with someone that has ADHD in your life, or someone who's, okay, the person who's just been told by their best friend, hey, listen, hey, I've just found out I've got ADHD, I've been diagnosed. Just take it with joy and pride for your friend, because A, they've been brave enough to actually realize that something's a bit different about them and they've gone to get that diagnosis, and secondly, they're still your best friend, they're still your friend, they're still the same person. They might start sort of revealing themselves a little bit more differently now that they're really understanding of who they actually are, and might come into themselves a little bit more, but they're still the same person, they still love you. And also, if you say, you're not hyper, like I've never seen you hyper, take care with that kind of reaction, because it can make us feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Like it just sort of, it can feel very confronting to have to share with someone in the first place what our diagnosis is, and then secondly, when we get that reaction, it's kind of like, oh, maybe they're not the person to share it with, but you probably are. You're their best friend for a reason. So yeah, just take it with a stride, take it in your stride, I should say, and keep being the best friend that you are. So yeah, okay, bye.